This is Christoph Yalik.
This is Just Janet.
And this is K. Colley.
And this is
the Just Nuggets Podcast.
It's the Just Nuggets Podcast. Well, welcome back. How's everyone doing?
We're good. How about you?
Playoff
Hey,
season.
Doc.
How can I be mad about playoff basketball?
So far, so good, young people.
Chris, what you think?
I'm thoroughly pleased.
Good.
So far, so good.
You
How
had me
could you?
scared there
I was
for
like,
a
how
minute.
could you not be? We won 2 games.
Yes.
Game 1, we came out lights out. Game
Lights
2, we balled out.
One quarter was the bad,
Yeah.
and then
We'll get into
we
that.
turned this down.
But I'm saying, as far as
That's all.
you last time we were on the mic, you seemed a little more on the edge. You should be a little happier now. Up 2-0.
Well, here we are.
Job not finished.
As we sit here recording, it's a holiday here in Colorado. April 20th. It's National Nuggets Win Day.
National
And,
Nuggets Win Day.
And that's always a good time. You
It
know,
is.
you can celebrate that, 53 times during the regular season. Hopefully 14 more. So, but neglecting that, I think they're off to a good start. They did, if we want to just be like transparent, they did exactly what they needed to do off rip, was take care of home court. They've been successful 33 or 34-7 this season at Ball
At
Arena.
home.
That was their mission, and we've been saying it on the pod this entire season, that this is what they need to do, and so far so good in the playoffs. And I think I'll say this: they look like a 1 seed. They look like a 1 seed playing
Absolutely.
the 8. Even though Minnesota's a good 8, that
Mhm.
might be biased. I think, like they said on telecast last night, I think last night was game 33 or game 32 of Embiid. Excuse me. Did not mean to say Embiid. That's not a Freudian
You
slip.
sound like
Cat.
Embiid.
Sound like
Yeah.
a-
Cat.
Okay,
Cat.
Cat. Okay.
Let's put it like this. Cat, you are no Embiid.
Yeah, okay.
You are no Embiid, my friend. Cat and Gobert playing together, so they're still kind of getting their chemistry down. Even
Yeah.
though 33 games is kind of a lot, but but still, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get to it. Like what are Jokic and Maul at? They're at like they gotta be over 1,000 together, right?
Let's get into game 2.
Gotta be close to it.
Yeah,
Jays, what did you think about who was a standout for you for last night?
Last night, well, I have 2.
I was gonna say.
Okay. Of course, Jamal with the 40 points.
Good
Okay,
call,
how
good
could
call.
you not? And then MPJ, I just think he saved us in that fourth quarter.
Oh, absolutely.
We were rolling in the first 2, as I alluded to, and then the third quarter we forgot to bring our defense.
Mhm.
Okay, and then the fourth quarter we reverted to how we've been playing for the both those games as well as we have been. But MPJ set the tone and got the energy back up. Everybody saw him starting to hit and taking over, because I think he scored the first 8 points in the fourth
Coming out
quarter.
of that, coming out of that
And
break.
coming out of that break, out of the quarter change, and just he was on fire. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a man determined to win that game, and thank you so much, MPJ. But you know what else? I'm gonna digress a little bit. That who was the 6th man, and definitely the game we went to, game 1, was the fans. They were electric in that on, and I think
Wait, time out. You had like a little flex in there. You said that we went to.
yeah,
Okay, continue.
that we did.
Game 1 was
Yeah,
good.
game 1 was good.
The white
And
t-shirts were
the,
a nice
the white
touch.
t-shirts and all of it, and I just thought the wave going and the Rocky hitting the shot. I mean, it was just like
Yeah,
magical.
the fans broke out
It was
into a
magical.
wave. It was one of those, because we were beating them down in game 1.
Oh my!
It was
goodness.
different. It was different.
Let's stick to game 2. I'm
I know,
sorry.
I
I'm
forgot
sorry
about-
for
I forgot about the
We'll
wave.
get into
Forgot
game
about the
1. I
wave.
just heard a little flex, so I just had to
Yeah.
throw a spotlight on it. That's it.
I'll say for game 2, I think what happened, the Nuggets skunked them in game 1.
Yes,
You come out in the first half,
and you're doing the
you
same.
do the
thing
same
again.
thing. Third quarter comes out, and you guys just play a little flat.
Yeah,
Michael Malone had me cracking up. He
Yeah.
said they scored 40 points,
right.
shot 80% from the field.
Yeah.
If y'all play any defense,
You might win
You'll
this game.
you'll win this game.
You'll win this
So
game.
we just completely stopped playing defense
Yeah.
in the third.
Or-
Credit to Anthony Edwards. Went
Oh,
completely
my.
off in the third and the fourth.
Yeah, he didn't have the best first game of the series, but that he was there and everything, but he was nothing like he was in that third quarter and that whole game with the 41 points. Yeah.
And then to your point, Michael Porter Jr. was MVP before Jamal became the ultimate MVP.
Yeah, well,
because those 8 points and that go ahead 4-point play,
yes,
right right into the fourth was big. It
yeah.
completely changed back the momentum to our side.
Right.
Then he had that reverse layup.
Yes.
And we're off to the races.
Yes.
Jamal comes in. He goes full playoff Maul.
Mm-hmm.
And we end up winning that game as we should.
Right.
Joker had a great game. He was getting fouled a lot. I think that's just the NBA playoffs. That's what I love about the NBA playoffs. You have to play through it.
Can we retire Bubble Jamal?
Oh yeah, it's retired. It's now.
I know we
it's
like
playoff.
it.
It's playoff Jamal. It's playoff Jamal.
When you do something that has superseded it, in my eyes,
superseded the bubble. I wouldn't say that, but he is just a playoff performer.
You know why it's superseded? Because he was hurt. He was out for so long. He had to work his way back. I think if you're going, if it's just a better feeling about this Jamal that's here right now, because it has a lot of will behind it and tenacity and all the things that you love about sports.
That's true.
So that's why I think I know we'll never retire it because people keep on telling me. But for this show, can we this pod? Can we just say playoff Jamal? That's what I'm
I'll let you do that. I'll let you do that.
I'm gonna call
because the way I'll call him. Call him playoff Jamal too. I'll give you that.
Okay.
I was texting a good friend of mine who I talk to every Nuggets game, and I said playoff Jamal is a special being. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just it's a thing to watch. But retiring of Bubble Jamal. No, Bubble Murray. Excuse me. No, I'm not. It's because it's a memory. It's kind of like
it's a good memory.
Like as we sit here on the anniversary of MJ dropping 63 at the Garden, like no one ever lets that go.
Yeah.
And if we let it go, just like, can we just put it to rest? No. That lives on for. What he did was incredible.
Yeah.
That's like up there in the pantheon of greatest playoff performances.
Yes.
And if we just let it pass, I just think we do a disservice to the moment that was. But yes, to the nickname. Somewhat, because he still got when he goes to that level, that means he's going insane. He's gone super sane.
And to Chris's point, because he did it in the bubble, when the bubble hopefully never happens ever again.
Yeah, because of COVID.
That's special.
Yeah,
what he did was special.
Yeah, when you think about the bubble, you think about him. He comes to mind in this first.
Absolutely.
No, that's not even Nuggets fans. That's not even Nuggets fans. That's like NBA fans.
Yes.
Think about him and maybe the top 3 things they think about.
And I know we're off, but here this is what we're here for to discuss. I just think that I heard the media, national media, talking about this like this, and they just won't. I think they were waiting to see if he could do it again because that was so spectacular. And now he's proven that he could score 40 just routinely, with just regularly. It wasn't like a spectacular 40. He was just doing his thing. Okay, the whole time, and it started adding up, and then when you look at the box scores, you see that it happened. You'd be like, "Oh my goodness!" Yeah. So I guess that's what I'm saying. Before it was back and forth with him and Donovan, so it was just brewing, and you could see it happening.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I never had a doubt. I knew Jamal would.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it's not just.
But that's what I was gonna say.
Not just national media on that.
So I was gonna say to the point of you brought up Donovan Mitchell and what Jamal did in the bubble. People were trying to say Anthony Edwards was right there with Jamal back and forth, and it was I don't think it was like that.
No.
I think they battled all their way back into the game.
They did.
And then Jamal took over the game when it was time to take over. It didn't seem as if, what's the name? Anthony Edwards hit a big shot.
Right.
Jamal hit it. Are we going to win? Are we not going to win? It was just the Nuggets finally got back into their pace, and Jamal was cooking.
And I think the reason why we're spending so much time on this, and we haven't mentioned Joker, and Joker's always, he almost had a triple-double last night. He had 9 rebounds, 9 assists, and double points. So he was there. 20. Yeah, he was there. So we're not talking about Joker, but what we're seeing is in order to win the championship, the finals, you need a team. You need a team. And we talked about MPJ's skill of just, coming on when everybody else was just kind of trying to get it done. He was the leader of it. Yeah. And we talked about Jamal, just his consistency and him coming back to himself. And then, of course, always Joker. And he's hurt a little bit. You hear there's a thing on his wrist or hand or whatever, sitting over there, getting that worked out. And then he has this calf injury that he's up with or whatever. But he was there and in rare form.
What was the point you made earlier, Kyle, about MPJ in the moment you knew that the Nuggets were going to get fined last night?
Oh, when he hit the 4-point play.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, that was it.
He's the X factor. At the end of the day, Jamal, absolutely. You can see what Jamal is going to do in the playoff game. Joker is always going to get his points. And Michael Porter obviously gets his points too. But when he gets those points, now you're looking at a three-headed monster that becomes really hard to defend. Because now you go, oh, I can't just double team Jamal when he's going off point after point. Because if you do, Jamal passes it out to Michael Porter Jr. and he hits that big three.
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna try to stop Jamal again. Oh, he's gonna pass it to Joker. Joker's gonna throw the alley oop to AG. Mm-hmm. So when you have Jamal cooking and MPJ cooking, I mean when you have Nikola Jokic cooking and MPJ gets in on action, we're a hard team to stop.
A hard team, and then KCP
and I was saying the others.
One was doing well and hitting his shots. He returned because, I don't know what we're not even going to talk about regular season last month because, everybody, we got through that. But now we're here and we're better. But KCP showed up in that first game well, and AG, I'm going to talk about him because I just think he's special because he helps when he's on hitting his shots, hitting his threes, dunking at the basket. It's just energy. It's energy that we get. So I think that we could name, we could go and get past this first series, get the butterflies out if there are any. I didn't see a whole lot, but let's just say this and get to that next level, and then we'll have a lot to talk about there.
I mean, I think what I'm going to say is probably a bad point when when you look at it and it's like, well, the Nuggets don't need to do that because they already won 2 games, but they're going on the road, so a few things change. Their role players are going to play a lot better. I want to be careful how I say this. 41's a lot from Anthony Edwards. I think if you can waver that storm, but the reason I'm hesitant to say this point is because he can give you 50. I don't want to see it, but he could go for 50, 55 on you, and it's like, Dan.
We played no defense then.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Defense and he gets 40.
Then it's like Damish, where it's like, well, he's gonna do if he's gonna go that, or even Donovan Mitchell-ish, where it's like, okay, whatever, that was good defense, but you're on a different level tonight. So, but like that, so they're gonna get inflated numbers from a majority of their role players, and they're gonna have playing with energy because they're gonna have a crazy target center and that home energy behind them. Mm-hmm. However, just looking at the stats, game 1. Jamal took 22 shots. You want to know how many shots he took last night, game 2?
How many?
22, right?
He took 22 both days?
Both games.
See, that's what I'm saying. He's so consistent.
Yeah. And he made 9 of 22, had 4 of 10 from 3 points for 24 points in game 1. He had 6 threes on 10 shots, so basically the same, just made 2 more.
And what about his assists? In both games.
Assists, he had 5 in game 2 and 8 in game 1. But they're killing him, so you're getting that ball. They're moving that ball around a little bit more.
Yeah, but that just proves that he's just coming to his own as being a point guard.
Yeah.
A real true
he's
one.
He's moving it around.
Great decisions.
Getting everybody involved. Yeah. But I was going to say, the key piece of what I'm saying when they can take this on to game 3 and 4 is KCP, game 1, shoots 11 times.
Okay.
Because I heard you say he had a good game.
He did.
But he made 6 points. He was 6 of 11. 3-pointers, he took 6 of them in game 1. Was 50%. 3 of 6 for 15 points. Last night he was 0 for 2. So I think if those two continue to shoot at the pace they're shooting, right, 22 and 10, that means you're getting good looks in the corner or whatever it is. But KCP has a game where he hits, 7 of 10, or goes 4 of 6 from 3-pointer. Nuggets pretty close and unstoppable.
I know. I was saying 50% on 3-pointers was extra.
Can I take the obvious point? The difference in this series so far has been the Nuggets playing defense. Because in the first game, I absolutely liked it. That was one of the best games I've ever seen.
Mike Malone for coming on
that defense was amazing. I know, right?
Thank you for being on the pod today.
But the reason why I say defense is because at the end of the day, I think the Timberwolves' they're not that great of scorers. I think 113 is about where they'll win or lose a game. If the Nuggets score above 113, they're probably never going to lose in this series. So the key is to say, all right, if Anthony Edwards is going to get his 20 to 40 points, we got to always keep one person at bay. And that's what it's been the first two games. Game 1, Gobert only had 9 points. In Game 2, Cat only had 10 points last night, Chris. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at it. We're always keeping one of their 3 main scorers to less than 12 points. You're going to win games. So now it's saying, how can we just make sure we keep that game plan going forward? Mm-hmm. And I think what we've seen, and when we're talking about defense, and what I didn't notice when I came into the series, you think about the height of Minnesota.
Yes.
They got Cat, they got Gobert, tall guys. Mm-hmm. You knew Joker was going to have to work for his points against 2 tall players.
They used DJ.
But I did not realize. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I did not realize how much of a strength battle the Nuggets have over the Minnesota. Because AG is just as strong as the other 2 guys, Kat and Rudy Gobert.
Yes.
And Jeff Green is coming in.
Yes.
And he's just as strong as them too.
Yes.
So that height is not resulting in wins for them because those guys are fighting for those boards just as hard, if not getting more.
Good point. Mm-hmm. No, that's fine. I agree with you.
That's a good point. And so they might be beating the Nuggets on size, but definitely the strength battle. And I think this is the first time in the history of the Just Nuggets podcast we're going to do some breaking news. But Malcolm Brogdon, breaking news, was just named the 6th man of the year. Which is kind of cool, so congrats to him.
Yes.
Yeah. His mom was a professor of mine at college.
Oh, congrats. Really cool.
Yeah.
And we called that in the last podcast.
And what school did y'all go to?
You want me to say my social security number?
Yeah, right. No, so good for him. I love it. Congratulations. We didn't say anything about JJJ winning the Defensive Player of the Year.
And then Coach Mike Brown won it too, which we can talk about the Kings here in a little bit. Yeah. I want to ask one more question about the Nuggets. Okay. What do you think about the 8-man roster that we're rolling with? We did 9 in the first game.
No, they did more than 9 in the first game.
No, at the end of the game, but it was really the majority of the game was 8, 9.
We don't need to. I know this is gonna sound. I'm not a coach, and I don't really care about an 8 or 9 or use who you win how you have to win. I mean, does it matter that you have? I know it's traditional, and I know Coach Malone knows he has to use his starters more than he does the regular season. But if he uses somebody, a 9-man or whatever, because they have a special situation going for it, like he did. He used DJ. He was back up to Joker in the first game. And
for 6 minutes.
But it was a well-served 6 minutes.
It was,
got him
4
rest,
points.
Blah, blah. I don't have a preference. This is me. I don't have just Janet. I don't have a preference over the 8 or 9 or 10.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's why I always look at, I highlight the teams I've watched win championships in my lifetime. That 2014 Spurs team, the one that that beat the Heatles the last time, and it just was because they were such on a mission as to how they lost the year before. Mm-hmm. But that was one of the only teams in the history of the NBA that I witnessed that they could throw 12 at you.
Yeah,
they literally, and they did. Mm-hmm. They would beat you, and 12. 10. Their main rotation was at least 11 players, and it was just they would kill you with that.
Come and get a bucket.
Yeah, it was they were a team that beat you. Everybody, everybody's minutes were kind of in the same area.
Yeah.
Outside of that team, most teams I watch have a short rotation
because they don't have the depth and the talent.
And that's what I'm saying is that happens. That's the one of the only teams I could think of like that won a championship that did it. All those Golden State teams. All those that team that LeBron, the 2015 team, not the team they won, but the year before, that was lucky if they had a 7-man rotation. That was a 5-6 the entire time. Dellavedova come down, that was it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So short rotations are a thing of playoff basketball, and the 8 that they got going, I'm pretty cool with. Christian Brown comes in, kind of relieves. Some of those relieves the guards. He's good at, and he plays defense. To Kyle's point.
Yeah.
Who else would you want in there? Who do you want? To elaborate a little bit further on the longer rotations? Who's on the bench that you wish would be getting more playing time?
In this series, I would not. I mean, other than DJ because they had him in and it worked.
Foul trouble purposes.
For whatever. But I'd have to see the next series who we match up with because it's a matchup thing to me.
Because right now the players who are not playing. I just want to know from Just Janet, who do you want to get more playoff minutes out of Zeke Naji, Peyton Watson, of Kankar, DeAndre Jordan, Thomas Bryant, who hasn't played. He's the only player on the team that hasn't played this postseason. Ish Smith and Reggie Jackson.
I say DJ I've already said that to play just what he did, 6 minutes or whatever it was, and game one because he was fine. I think he could take if Joker's in foul trouble, we're putting him in. I'm just sorry, we just have to so he can take some of those fouls. Period. And so, or out of those other people that you said, it would be Reggie. Because he's a more experienced, been in playoffs before. I wouldn't put anybody in unless we were like we in game one when they put everybody else in there because they could, And that's the only other thing I'd say.
The only reason I even asked that question is because I remember a podcast or two ago we were talking about who's going to be on the playoff roster.
Okay.
This 8-man roster has been playing phenomenal.
Yes.
Great basketball, and they're playing at the right lengths, and guys are coming in at the right moments.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I was asking, and I think it's been paying off.
Yes.
It's not so much, we need to extend that 8 to 9 because right in this series it hasn't mattered. I was just saying, hey, this 8-man roster is exactly how I would have wanted the Nuggets to play. Joker's playing a good amount of minutes. Jamal's playing. It's really fast and it's lean too.
Yeah.
So we have the strength, we have the scoring, we have it all. And Bruce Brown, game one, and for almost 9 games in a row, has played lights out.
He has.
Last night, his first half was amazing.
I'm sorry,
second half, he was a part of that 40-point turnaround, but he still played good basketball.
Absolutely.
So we have those guys that are playing really good in that stretch. I was just asking about the whole picture of the 8. I like the 8.
What do you think?
To answer the question I posed to you, who on the bench, who would I like to see get more minutes if they expand it? I would actually say those 2 that you mentioned. I thought you made a good point on that, and I like the two players you mentioned. The only other player I would see getting minutes.
Let me call it say before you go. EW.
No, I was gonna say Kankar.
Yeah.
Oh,
really? Why I say that is because Kankar does. He's a defensive guy. It's for the same reason. It's because he's not. It's truly a defense thing.
Watson plays defense.
Yeah, Watson does. He does. Yes, Peyton Watson, all that stuff. So it's but at that point, it's
yeah.
I
know.
It's splitting hairs.
It's splitting hairs, and it's by need.
And that's what I think.
And I think I said this because where I'm at with Peyton Watson in his game, he's more of a regular season for me. How I want to see him develop is I want to see him develop on the offensive side.
Yeah.
I already know what Kankar is on the offensive side. So in the playoffs right now, just come in and just play defense size, pick up some fouls.
In my mind.
You know what I mean? And I think Reggie, the reason I say you made a good point because it feels like that's more for control of the game.
Yeah.
Who can go off ball? Who can get you into the play? Who's going to kill clock?
And
who's been there?
If they rotate the ball around, you could hit a 3.
Yeah, exactly. And then same with DJ.
Yeah.
DJ is a big body when you're going against a tall team. Who, as you said, or they need to get in the gym because you get in the weight room because DJ gonna be throwing them around.
Bro, they need to
DJ gonna be throwing them around too. He's gonna be throwing them around too. I don't even. I could just already tell that he's gonna be.
He was getting them in game 1.
Oh my God, he was.
Let's talk about getting little Boyd, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Our rookie's out here punking you in broad daylight.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? And why are you trying to shoot after the whistle and then try to jump into him and get mad? You try to punk a rookie and let's put it like this: he ain't Rudy Gobert, my guy. You know what I mean? Rudy Gobert already had his long arm and hit you in the chest.
But thank you, CB.
Think what CB would do to you.
Thank you, CB, for putting your hands up and letting them
have
it.
For sure.
Well, it's funny he tried to tag CB and CB still was the one standing and that guy was on the ground because he's trying to grab him and CB just kind of pushing him down.
You thought Kyle Anderson would come around and hit him with the mellow. Remember mellow in the garden?
One thing I love about series is you there's no love lost. By the time you go through 5 or 6, 7 games with a team, you don't like them at all. It doesn't matter who they are.
Yeah, that's true.
You could have loved them before. By the time that series is done,
they're already in the division.
Hey, and Chris,
they already don't like them.
You think I didn't
Conley.
notice, but you slipped that in.
I thought he was going to talk about
Carmelo
too.
Oh yeah. You know what it is?
We got you.
I would love for the Nuggets to end Tim Conley's season. Nothing would make me happier. That he has to go home because of the Nuggets. Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
And you got to laugh at the fact that this man traded a couple picks for Rudy Gobert for an experiment that he said, I don't know if he said it, but the implication was this is going to stop Nikola Jokic in the playoffs. And last time I checked, Chris, can you read that stat? How many did Joker have last night?
This was game one stats.
He had a triple double. He almost,
he was
like 27, 9 and 9.
He had 9 and 9.
He had 27, 9 and 9. Yeah.
So you're talking that wasn't an effective strategy, and it definitely wasn't worth getting rid of some picks for.
And you seen late in the fourth, Jokic misses a shot, gets his rebound over both Cat and Gobert, and puts it back in.
Yeah.
And they were a 7 seed last year. You trade 2 picks and you go down a seed. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
No. Well,
but
can't win them all.
Speaking of not winning them all, I want to go to the Just Nuggets not Nuggets, and talk a little bit about Golden State not winning any. If you really think about it, they're the reigning defending champs, and they're down 2-0.
First time they said
we've been seeing the beam lit a lot
in
lately.
Playoffs that Steph hasn't. This is that he's been in this situation.
He's never been down 0-2, is what you're trying to say.
I just think we talked about the Kings. I'm glad our podcast is one that gave the Kings the respect.
Yeah,
they're taking people's chains.
You guys can take a second right now, pause this episode.
Episode 1.
Yeah, pause this, go back to episode, I think it was 2, when I believe I made mention of it, you confirmed it, and then listen to all the episodes up until now when we do Not Nuggets and we talk about the Kings in glowing fashion. Or you can go back one episode. I'm giving you time to do all this right now between my thought and all this. Here when we all went around the room and said, Mike Brown. So, okay. Thank you. Welcome back to this episode.
We watched them.
And
that's like people don't watch the Nuggets and they have all these things to say.
And I think that's what happens.
True.
And also the Nuggets fans, we kind of saw this coming like a year and a half ago. When we was like, oh, we match up very poorly against them. They can beat us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why it is, but they've matched up well against the Nuggets.
It was the season after the bubble where they just kept scoring.
Yeah.
And De'Aaron Fox and then Buddy Hill was getting us.
Yeah.
They both were getting
but if they get out and into where we think they might get, and if we get out, they're gonna play like they do now, as fast as they are. They're gonna be.
Is that why?
Let's back up.
Scoring. Is that why they're playing better against Golden State than we did last year? Outside of Joker and all that.
I'm
outside of Jamal.
I think we've also been talking about this throughout the year, that the Warriors have not been playing well on the road. So it's kind of like we'll just hold off. I'm not saying anything bad about the Kings. I'm really not. I'm just saying, okay, this checks out. Bad road team loses 2 games on the road.
Yeah, but you know what?
You know what I mean? Checks out. No. If they go, I almost said Oracle. I'm built like that with Pepsi. All these new stuff. So when they go into the Chase Center, and they beat them 2 out of the next. They beat them 2 out of the next 2. Then I'm like,
it's gonna be hard.
And then also Rudy T said it best: never underestimate the heart of a champion. They don't know how it is to ruin or end someone's season yet.
But
they have never done that. And then the one
that roars will not be there tonight.
Draymond Green. That's all I'm saying. You're missing the point. Draymond's not playing.
That's true. That's one arm behind their back for sure. Yes. But like the Splash Brothers can get off. Jordan Poole could go for 38 and kill you.
I hope he does, because last year Jordan Poole was acting like he was the first.
No. If you're gonna do that, I hope Gary Payton II goes off tonight.
Yeah, why are they not playing like? Yeah,
where's Gary? Why did you keep that same energy, bro?
Yeah, last year they wanted to raise the roof on us.
I think 2 things though. I watched his press conference after Game 1, and this dude Harrison Barnes kind of got like. He got that look in his eye where he's like, it's like, oh yeah, you guys forgot, but I was a part of one of y'all championships too, and you guys just neglect that. He's like waiting in the wings. This is his time to cut somebody's neck. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it also reminds me of baseball. Yeah, we'll talk baseball on this. With the Padres and the Dodgers, and the Dodgers, they won a championship. They're the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're the $1 billion team, and everybody knows them, and they win a bunch of games in the regular season. They beat up on the Padres, and the Padres can't beat them in the playoffs. And finally, last year, the Padres overcame them. Yeah. But then guess what the Padres forgot, and I hope the Kings don't forget this, that there's a next round.
Yeah, right.
You beat the mighty Dodgers, and we got rid of them,
just
to go to the next round and lose to the Phillies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you do finish this season out, I'm pretty sure we'll talk again to you before this series is over, or we don't, and the Kings have swept them or beat them in 5 games, whatever it is. Don't get super hype on the fact that you beat the Warriors that you forget that you got to win 16 games. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's 12 more dubs you got to get. So the Warriors know that.
Yeah, they do.
They know that.
Yeah, they just need to get out of this.
Do you know that?
Past today
is what we need to see.
Draymond.
So the Kings, I don't really have a horse in that race. I really don't.
No.
Because they're so far away from the Nuggets. And I like the Kings. I think they're a good team. I think De'Aaron Fox is good.
Oh yeah.
I think that atmosphere is electric.
They're not tired.
That stadium is on fire.
Golden
Right
State
now.
got to taste their own medicine.
Yeah. And they came in and they're pumping up. They you know what it is? They're the loudest stadium in the Bay because the winning and moving to San Francisco has made the Warriors really posh.
Yeah.
You know, they're very poshy.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in old rickety Oracle in Oakland no more.
Mm-hmm.
But
got a new stadium.
I'd say banners hang all the same with them. They won in
No, I'm with you. And that place is obviously daunting because they have a good home record they play well there, and they won a championship there last season. So I'm not no knocking of it.
No, it's just that.
But I'm just saying that the loudest stadium in California right now might be in Sacramento.
But our sixth man.
It's nice. I'd say Denver got to play. Came in that first match.
They keep saying how good.
This is not Nuggets. This is not Nuggets.
We back to Nuggets.
I digress. One more time.
The whole episode, the whole pod could be called also, but back to Nuggets.
Back to Nuggets.
Well, I want to say this: from poking one bear to poking another. Memphis. And the Lakers.
You know, Memphis.
Dylan Brooks was poking a bear last night.
They're just arrogant.
We said that. They're like. The cool thing about Memphis, on one hand, they're scared of nobody.
Right.
The other side,
they don't know to be scared.
Yeah, they don't know to be scared, and it's like their hubris gets in the way of them too.
All the time.
They're so focused on being the bad news like bears, and essentially, that they I guess that's a bad example because bad news.
No, it's just the name. It's the name.
Yeah,
it's the name.
Exactly. But they're willing to overlook teams and not give the respect sometimes they need to.
That was pretty good. The bad news bears and their Grizzlies.
Yeah, I get you. But anyways, last night they beat the Lakers without Jamal Murray.
Yes.
They played really well without him, but they were able to beat him. And Dylan Brooks was getting on LeBron's last nerve. LeBron had a lot of poise because the man was yelling in his ear.
Yeah, he was. And the only thing is LeBron probably was mad because he knows opportunities when opportunities ring because he's been in too many playoffs not to know it and see it. He knew that was an opportunity that they needed to seize the moment and win that game. And then they would be getting 2 games on somebody's home court. And then it was going to be so then they didn't do it. Now here we are. All they did was just shift the home court.
Let's also just not overlook how excellent that soundbite is. I poke bears. I love that.
He said, unless that man puts 40 on my head top, I don't respect him.
Oh my goodness.
He's old. That's what he said. Word for word, bar for bar.
That is honestly, that you can't make that stuff up. That's perfect.
Even if he was like WWE with those glasses that he was like in the big old chain when he was at the press conference, or he was trying to be the new Rodman or something because he was.
His press conferences are funny. He always has the glasses on.
Or when he had the perm the other week.
He's a funny guy.
See, people hate on Dylan Brooks, but like, there's no reason.
If
he rubs you, that's the thing
He's
about basketball or sports in general. You have to have the Pat Bevs, the Draymonds, the Dylan Brooks because that makes you like LeBron.
Yeah.
It makes you like Steph Curry because there's a Ron Artest.
Yeah.
You have to have the juxtaposition because at the end of the day, it's just grown men paying a lot of money to play basketball. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I guess last point on that, AD did not play that well last night.
AD who?
And he got hurt.
Anthony Davis.
AD who? Was he there?
Anthony Davis. He just didn't play well.
Oh, he's a player.
Oh, he was there?
He's a player. They call him the unibrow because he's got a unibrow.
He was not playing up to his size or ability.
If I was Mason Plumlee, I'd point and say that guy didn't do much last night.
Yeah.
Well, he has really good games, and then he just like it's almost like he gets bored or something. And
could be that he's very talented.
He's extremely talented.
Yeah.
He's extremely talented, but I tell you what.
Yeah, it's something about like having that killer genes. Like maybe he has it, but it's just like when it comes out.
But okay, I'm gonna be put on my Lakers fan hat here for a second. No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
But if I had one, here's my attempt at displaying it.
Go for it.
They did their job. They as a 7 seed, not a 6, not a 5. They literally went on the road and stole one on game 1 against a fully strength team. I guess the flip side of that you can say is I think the only team that's worse than the Nuggets at game 1 is Memphis. I don't think they've won a game 1.
How many future Hall of Famers is on the Lakers team?
A couple. For sure. Am I missing one?
Okay, and what about Memphis? The number 2 seed that you're talking about.
John Morant.
Let's not do that yet.
No. Here's the thing. The reason why I'm saying that is because of the point you're making that they were the lowly 7th seed, but when you have LeBron and AD on
Tristan Thompson's on their team.
He just got signed before. He just got signed before the.
I thought he was on ESPN.
He was on ESPN.
But I hear the point you're trying to make. I get it under a normal circumstance of a 7, but that's not your normal 7. That 7 was being called to go to the Western Conference Final before we even started these playoffs. Remember, they were one of those teams that they would never talk about the first place Western Conference team, but they would talk about that 10th team trying to make it to the play-in every day. So I can't really buy your 7-2.
No, but they did what they were supposed to do. Like, they went on the road.
Yeah,
they stole
Chris
one.
is right. You're the underdog seed wise.
Okay. You did that. Now you go home. That's
Jokic 2 at home.
That's pretty good. I think that's how I would look at it as a fan. Like, they went back. They stole one because I would have thought they went home down 0-2.
I forgot you were being Lakers fan.
Yeah, so I put on the Lakers hat.
I'm sorry, I'm being a Nuggets fan over here.
I gotta be put on my accountant hat really fast.
Yeah,
Did you know that Shaq Harrison is on the Lakers?
No.
You remember old Shaq Harrison? And he makes $12,000. It just doesn't seem right. $12,000. That's his salary. Wow. When LeBron's making $44 million, so that means he's making more in like 20 seconds than this dude's making his. Whatever.
Hey, Shaq played well for the Nuggets a couple.
He did.
I'm gonna give him his credit.
He did. He tried. I don't use this word try. But he tried his heart out against Damian Lillard that series.
Think about it, though. This is what the Nuggets were doing the last 2 years. We were playing with
Shaq Harrison.
We were playing with Marcus Howard.
Don't forget my guy.
Playing with
Austin Rivers.
Austin Rivers, front office. We were playing with who else did we have?
Bro,
PJ
Campazzo.
Yeah.
And they were winning the series.
I know they were.
So when people was like, "Oh, Joker can't win in the playoffs," we're like, "Bro, y'all need to just look at the roster."
You give me Facundo Campazzo and Shaq Harrison and get out the first round, bro.
And he won a series. He won a game every time. He got out the series. Yeah, he got out the first round the first time. Second time,
you missed the biggest corporate. Will Barton. This man had Will Barton. We were praying for Will Barton to come back against the Suns. We were praying for that because they had no one.
Yeah.
It was. We talk about Yoke and Maul. That was beautiful because it was Yoke and no, not AG. Remember, the AG was calling out people and scoring 6 points. It was Yoke and Monte, bro.
Right,
it was Yoke and Tay.
That's why I'm glad y'all didn't say Monte because Monte was balling with Joker.
Yeah,
we can rely on him.
I'm sorry we got off topic, but $12,000 just seems a little low.
So
yeah, the only thing else I was gonna say is Kawhi Leonard tonight's not playing. And they need him because he was
more
hooping.
sarcastic, please.
Mom, I just called what it was. Was Kawhi Leonard not balling in game 1?
He was balling.
Was he not balling in game 2?
Yes, he was.
They're about to lose tonight without him. Period.
Is he hurt or something?
His hand.
Speaking of another nugget, Bones got to step up tonight. Essentially, that's what you're asking. You're asking Bones and Westbrook to step up tonight. It's a loss. It's a loss.
And it's a lot,
Put that on record, as you just did.
Oh boy,
it's a loss.
It's a loss.
And I honestly am sad about it because if the Clippers had Paul George and Kawhi Leonard healthy, they're actually beating the Suns. I just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go to the 2 minutes remaining. It's playoff time. It's playoff basketball. Best time of this, basketball season.
It is.
I want to ask, what has been your favorite playoff memory of the Nuggets?
For the Nuggets?
Of the Nuggets.
Ever?
Yeah, let's go ever.
Ever, okay. Ladies first.
I know, you know me, I'm always in championship mode. So I think when we went to the Western Conference Finals that year.
In the bubble or 2009?
That's the pick. 9.
Over the bubble?
Wow.
Surprised you said that.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, why? Do you want to elaborate at all?
I don't know. I think we had a shot at it more to get to the finals in 9 than we did.
That's fair.
In the bubble.
I think if you really talk about memories, that Kobe versus Carmelo.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that was one of the.
Yeah.
I still see it on Twitter. Like that's how crazy it is. People still be like, "Hey, I just want to show you this clip from 2009 of Kobe and Melo just battling it up."
That one just kind of makes me sad because
it's epic.
I think of Anthony Carter throwing that ball away to Trevor Ariza.
Okay, other than that, now.
That's because the thing is, if they don't do that, they steal game 1.
That's what I'm saying.
And then they beat them game 2.
You're making my point.
But that's the same thing. Okay, I'll take the bubble analogy since you took the 2009. My favorite would be the bubble, but it comes down to the same thing. If Mason Plumlee doesn't point
and not move
and stops that shot from AD hitting it, we also going to the championship. The only 3 that
he did he get hurt the next game or something?
Yeah, he got hurt right after that game.
I think it would have been tough. You guys are going to disagree with this.
Against the Heat?
And people listening might. I think it would have been tough to beat the Heat.
Compared
I think
to beating the Orlando Magic.
If the Nuggets get with Orlando, Nuggets have a championship.
Yeah.
Just straight up. They were going to beat Orlando. Yeah. And Orlando was sick. Trust. I'm a quiet Magic fan. They would be my second favorite team if I had a second favorite team. Mm-hmm. But they had Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis,
Dwight Howard.
Yeah, Dwight Howard.
That's interesting. Teams like that.
My God, remember Gortat? Gortat was nice as his backup.
And Jameer Nelson.
Yeah. And then there's someone else I'm missing right now. The lanky guard. Oh, what's my man's name? Bass. Bass was good.
Oh, yeah. Brandon Bass? No, not Brandon Bass.
I don't forget his first name, but Bass. He was good. That team was pretty darn good. But the Nuggets would take him.
Yeah, would have taken him.
But just interesting teams like that make the finals, back then, right? It's just like just Dwight Howard was good enough to take you to the finals.
Well, you gotta remember.
Turkoglu was playing like a dog.
You gotta remember the East was trash.
It was.
Yeah, but now you gotta have 3 all-stars, superstars.
We're talking about we have a 3-headed monster that's taking us to the championship
with a couple X factors in there. Because AG obviously was a number 1 option on a team. Now he's number 4 or 5 depending on the day.
And that's how deep we are.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be like that. I guess I'll go to. I'm gonna cheat really fast. I'm gonna pull a Just Janet and kind of give multiple answers.
Okay.
Because one's a bad memory, but it's just a good memory, I guess. But it was a bad game for the Nuggets. I just remember on my birthday, we went to just Dad and I went to a Nuggets game, and we were playing the San Antonio Spurs, and the Spurs just beat the mess out of us. But we were sitting so close, I'll just never forget. Just watching Tim Duncan, Tim Duncan, and Manu Ginobili just slicking back his hair, and I just hated Manu, but he was dogging Tony Parker, just dicing our defense. I think Nazir Muhammad was out there, and was a dude Bonner, and they just killed us.
Yeah.
They just killed us.
Pop,
I think it was 2004, 2005, somewhere mid-aughts in there. And they just beat the mess out of the Nuggets. But I just remember it being a good time, and it was a good birthday. It was a good way to spend it. Even though the Nuggets lost.
Yeah,
that was a lot of the playoff history growing up. So that's why when the bubble happened, and it's coming back from 3-1 not once but twice. Come on, that's amazing.
It was amazing.
That's amazing.
It was
and and then it's crazy because you talk about Mason Plumlee. I think about PJ Dozier. If you just hit 4 free throws, the Nuggets win too. You know what I mean? And he was playing his heart out. And that's the thing. I don't when I get mad at Anthony Carter. I get mad at Anthony Carter. Even Plumlee, come on, bro, pointing, go step out. I kind of get sad for PJ Dozier. Because it's dang it, bro. If you would have been a hero if you hit 4 free throws.
Because I always remember when you talk about free throw shooting, I always remember when JR, I forget that, is that in the same time frame? I was thinking when he had to hit the 3 free throws to get us into something, and he did it. Yeah. And it was just you're just sitting there sweating. Because when you make that kind of thing,
And missing free throws is the worst because it's it can have such a psyche on you. Remember, was it Nick Anderson when he missed his 4? He was a baller before that, and then afterwards he just was never the same. So even with Dozier, I think Dozier's been good, but I don't think he's been as good as when he was.
He's on the Kings now.
Yeah, interesting enough.
Yeah, so.
Well, just to wrap things up, the Nuggets on Sunday. Oh no, they play Friday, game 3. Then they play on Sunday, game 4.
Yes.
Need to win 1 or 2 for the sweep. We can get 2, win the sweep. Let's get 1.
Why not get the broom out?
Let's get 1 for sure in game 3.
I know you
I'm taking it game by game. I'm saying get the game. I'm saying game 3 is the most important.
I think the Nuggets lose game 3, win game 4.
Oh, no.
I think we're going to get game 3.
I think we're going to win
put
game
pressure
3.
on game 4 to win it.
Yeah.
But I know for sure we're going to get game 3 because it's going to be hard fought. It's gonna. I mean, actually, I'm not saying I know for sure. I'm saying that's the game that
I was about to say you got the script.
No. Yeah.
I think
that's the game we need to go get. Game 3 is the one we really need to go get because you really put a lot of pressure on them with 3-0.
I think we win game 3 and then game 4 they're gonna come and give us all they got, guns blazing, and then
in the first half. Because that's really what happens. If you're down 3-0, you play really hard in that first half.
And they're at home too, and the crowd's gonna be going. So it'll be tough to get to. But I still think it is doable. Mm-hmm. I mean, but
I think it'd be good for the Nuggets to get this either in 4 or 5 because then that'll allow them some resting to go into the next series against. Could be KD or it could be Kawhi Leonard next round. So
probably KD.
We need to get game 3.
They got no Kawhi, no Paul George.
That's what I said. Russell Westbrook. Either way, it's the Just Nuggets podcast. My name is K. Colley. You can find us on Just Nuggets Pod on Twitter. And we're excited. Go Nuggets.
And anywhere you get your podcast.
Yeah, of course. Go Nuggets. And let's get game 3.
2 down. 14 more to go, fellas.
Go Nuggets.